Disney just showed several movie teasers at D23 that are going to be released. But without a doubt, what caught fans' attention the most were the scenes from Frozen 3. Did you catch all the details and hidden clues in it, which point exactly to what the movie is going to be like? Ice Witch. Without a doubt, the thing that grabbed the most attention in the teaser for Elsa and Anna's third movie is the appearance of the big villain. She has powers very similar to Elsa's, manipulating ice, but apparently on a much higher level than the former Queen of Arendelle, which indicates that, most likely, she has way more years of experience than Anna's sister. Besides that, from her evil voice and mocking tone, you can tell she knows very well not only the history of the two sisters, but also the Kingdom of Arendelle. This could be a clue to the character's true identity. She is, for sure, the Ice Witch from Norse mythology, since the kingdom of our protagonists is located exactly in Scandinavia, where these legends originated. There is a goddess named Skadi, who was an ice warrior that even Odin himself, the king of the gods, feared. This Ice Witch could perfectly well be Skadi herself, who, after centuries, has returned to the place she helped found in the distant past, and which would one day become the Kingdom of Arendelle. And the royal family of Arendelle could very well have come from a direct descendant of hers, a son she had in the past with a human she fell in love with, the ancestor of the first king of Arendelle, but abandoned because she didn't want to watch him grow old and die. And now she would be back to meet, as she herself says, the famous sisters of Arendelle. But that's not the only possibility regarding the new Frozen villain. That's because she could very well be a third sister? There is a really cool theory floating around fan forums and social media that the new character could be a third sister to Queens Anna and Elsa. But you might be asking yourself, what do you mean? We've already seen scenes of the girls when they were little, and there was no other sister, either older or younger. If we look at the first two movies, it really will be impossible to think about this possibility. However, if we look at the other canonical Frozen materials, which include their books and also their stage plays produced by Disney itself, we can discover mind-blowing things that fit perfectly with this theory. To do this, we need to go back to the first movie, to that scene where the Troll King, Grand Pabby, has the power to erase memories, just like he does with Anna after the accident with Elsa, which almost took her own sister's life. On top of that, as we will talk about in a little bit, Grand Pabby himself had already officially used this magic on two other characters in the franchise, Queen Rita, Anna and Elsa's grandmother, and Kristoff's mother. Which makes us wonder, how many other times has he done this? What if King Agnar and Queen Iduna, the parents of the two princesses, had had a first daughter who was born cursed, at least to them, with ice powers since she was a little baby girl? With this complicated situation, they might have asked for guidance from some great magical elder of Arendelle, who, in reality, would be a villain in disguise, who we will also talk about in the next topic. As a solution, he would have pointed out that the king and queen of Arendelle would need to take the baby to that dimension opened by the northern lights that we saw in the teaser, and there she would be cured of her curse. However, the elder would trick them. As soon as they left the baby girl on the inside of the portal, and while they were still on the outside, he would close the access to the ice dimension and keep the child and her magical powers all to himself. Upon realizing they were tricked and unable to access the magic portal, plus feeling such immense guilt to the point of not wanting to live anymore, King Agnar and Queen Iduna would have asked the Troll King to erase this memory from their minds and their hearts forever. This way, the couple's first daughter and third sister to the princesses of Arendelle would have been completely forgotten, being raised by the villain, who made her believe she had been abandoned by her parents because they didn't love her. Seriously, this version would be amazing and would make Frozen 3 become the biggest hit in Disney history.
If you made it this far, do the following. Click the subscribe button. I think we deserve it.
Other villain. The story of Frozen is inspired by the fairy tale The Snow Queen, and in this story, there are several elements that still haven't appeared in the movies. The main one is the fact that the big villain of the fairy tale still hasn't appeared in Disney's animations. In other words, Frozen 3 would be the perfect time for this to happen. As we said, if the Ice Witch who appeared in the teaser is really another member of the Arendelle royal family, the The magical elder responsible for kidnapping her would be none other than the big villain of this fairy tale finally being introduced. The original story of the Snow Queen tells that, a long time ago, an evil demon creates a distorted magic mirror. In it, everything that is good and beautiful shrinks, while what is bad and ugly becomes giant in the reflection. However, one day, an icy wind knocks the mirror over. It falls and shatters into thousands of tiny pieces, scattered across the world by that same cold wind. If a shard of this evil mirror fell into a person's eye, they would begin to see only the wickedness and ugliness of the world. And if another piece fell into their heart, it would freeze and turn into a block of ice, totally cold and heartless. If all of this is included in the story of Frozen 3, we can say that by kidnapping the first daughter of the King and Queen of Arendelle, this elder would take 2 shards of the evil mirror. He would place one of them in the eyes of the little baby princess and the other in her heart, making her grow up as a cold-hearted child, turning her into the Ice Witch that will appear in the 3rd movie. Frozen 4 is in production. So, even though we see this elder at certain moments in Frozen 3 as an old man with a white beard and a hood covering his head, we can imagine that, in the movie's post-credits scene, after Anna and Elsa help their sister remove the pieces of the evil mirror, making her a lovely and kind person, we would see the old man from the top of an icy mountain, looking down at the kingdom of Arendelle. There, he would show his true, cruel, and evil face as the demon who created the mirror, revealing himself to be the one responsible for everything from the very beginning. That would be the perfect setup for Elsa and Anna's 4th movie, which will be released right after Frozen 3. Wedding postponed? From the teaser revealed by Disney, apparently the moment Elsa feels the evil presence of the Ice Witch, she asks Olaf, along with Sven, to go get Anna and Kristoff. And Olaf says they were doing mouth-to-mouth type of stuff, which leaves it up in the air whether they were kissing before the wedding, or if Olaf walked into the church exactly at the moment the priest gave them the blessing. The groom may kiss the bride. Taking into consideration that Elsa wasn't in the church during the ceremony, that she was with Olaf and Sven, and that all of them are very important to Anna and Kristoff, we can imagine that, in reality, all of that happened right before the wedding, and the bride and groom, being naughty, were sneaking a few little kisses in secret. So, from all this context, we can deduce, without fear of being wrong, that the magical event of the portal to the ice world, which opened during the Northern Lights, completely interrupted the ceremony that was about to happen, which makes us realize that probably, if nothing bad happens to either the bride or groom, knock on wood, we will only see the ceremony actually happening at the very end of the movie, as the big final scene of joy with all the sisters reunited, including the 3rd one, the former Ice Witch. In other words, that fan theory that in Frozen 3 we would have Anna and Kristoff's child being born is going to have to wait until Frozen 4, for sure. Olaf engaged. Another really cool thing we can see in the teaser is that our beloved snowman Olaf seems to have awakened to love. So much so that he catches Anna's bouquet and says he is going to marry the next person he meets. The problem is that the person he meets at that moment is none other than the Ice Witch herself. So he says himself that, if that's the case, he will have to marry the second next person he meets. But then the question arises, who could be this future bride of Olaf's? And the answer to that seems to be exactly in the Disney Frozen stage play. In the story of the stage plays, we don't have the trolls or Marshmallow, that giant ice monster Elsa created. There, they were replaced by the Huldra folk, a hidden people who live in the same region where Arendelle is located. They have a small stature, roughly the same height as Olaf. They are beautiful creatures and take an interest in beings from other species. They have a tree-like appearance, with wooden skin, which prevents them from feeling cold. And what if the Ice Witch has a Huldra helper, which is what the females of the Huldra folk are called, named Samantha, which is exactly the name Olaf keeps yelling in the 2nd movie, until he asks himself if he, in fact, even knows a Samantha. Wouldn't that be awesome? The two would fall in love at first sight, but they could only get married if the Ice Witch and Elsa allowed it. And at the end of the movie, along with Kristoff and Anna's wedding ceremony, at the same time and in the same place, Olaf and Samantha's ceremony would take place. Man, that would be so cool, don't you think?
If you want more videos like this, comment down below, #more. We're leaving 2 really cool videos for you to stay with us here on the channel. Click and have fun. Thanks!